Join me as I visit the 5 boroughs of New York City with 5 of the best mirrorless cameras on the market. I meet the locals, try out the best food, and take you along for the ride. In this episode, I'm swinging by Adorama Rental Company to pick up the Sony a7r. The Sony a7r is a 36 megapixel monster. It was one of the first full-frame mirrorless cameras to hit the market, and it's currently the highest resolution Sony camera on offer. Of course, it's got SD and will support all the fast formats. They're still sticking with memory stick as well. It will do full HD recording up to 60 frames per second, with the clip length capped at 29 minutes. But this is not their video flagship. The new a7S is out on the market for that purpose. ISO is 100 to 25,600 and you can drop that down to 50. The shutter speed will go up to 30 full seconds and as fast as 1/8000. Continuous shooting speed is not great at 4 frames per second, but what this camera lacks in speed, it makes up for in pure grunt. The great benefit of Sony is it lets you use Zeiss lenses. So I got the 55mm prime and their 24-70 f4. I also picked up a Nikon f-mount adapter so I could use some of my ultra premium Zeiss Nikon mount lens on this camera. Let's jump on the train to Queens and test it all out. Unfortunately, when we arrived, it was pouring with rain, so the backpack cover goes on and the show must go on. Even in these challenging conditions, backlit and with a moving subject, the a7r didn't have any problem to focus, and you can see by boosting the exposure, I was able to retain a lot of great detail on the front of the subjects. Okay, so I'm not shooting athletes obviously, or fast moving cars, but the focus is good. It does pull focus quickly. It's not hard light today, so there's not a huge amount of contrast in the shots we're taking. Comparing it to the rest of the range, it's not as fast as something like the OMD or the XT1, but I wouldn't expect that you're going to miss shots using this setup. This is with the Zeiss 24-70 f4. And again, the viewfinder is pretty good. There's definitely some jello and lag in this one. It's not as fast as the XT1, but at 2 and a bit million pixels, you certainly see a lot of detail through there. Let's head into this local cafe and have some breakfast. So some could say that we went inside just because it was raining heavily, but let's say that we did it to do some low light testing. And of course I messed something up straight away. I'll put this online, I'll put this in the vlog. That's what happens when you try to toss the sugar pot like a cocktail shaker. Back to the ISO test. Look, everyone goes on about the advantages of full frame and high ISO, but I think you need to keep it in perspective. Look at this at 6400, zoomed right in. It's still already lost tons of color and tonal information, and it's getting those little bitty dots that people don't like. At 25,600, completely unusable. It's not that much better in practical performance than the Micro Four Thirds ones I've tested in this series. Where you will see a difference though is at those mid-range ISOs like 1000 and 1600. Okay, so Astoria is actually a really gentrified area, like Williamsburg in Brooklyn. It's one of the new hip places to be. I don't know how new, but it's incredibly expensive. It's getting up there with Manhattan in terms of prices. So nice to come and have a little wander around, try the food, try the cafes. But next up, we're gonna head to Elmhurst Street. Queens is one of the most ethnically diverse boroughs in all of New York. So we're gonna go try out a range of different foods and check out the local sites. Snapped off a couple of street shots before we left. Look, it's a good performer. The body's nice and small, but the lenses aren't, and it's so noisy. I don't mean noisy by mirrorless standards. This thing is maybe the noisiest camera shutter I've ever tested. Okay, so we've come to Roosevelt Avenue in Jackson Heights. This is where the ethnic journey begins. We're under the railway line. So let's take a walk around and see what different cuisines and cultures we can find. So filming here on the Sony, looks like we're in Mexican town, a taco shop, gentleman's club, car insurance, Mexican restaurant, nail salon, another Mexican restaurant. Just past some people selling tamales on the street. So we will definitely have to stop in and grab something here. Can we grab some tacos? 150. 250. Uno de pollo, uno de lengua. That means 1 chicken and 1 ear. Lengua. I don't know why I just turned into a Japanese schoolgirl. Maybe it's the umbrella. Genki desu! She cooked everything up freshly, we tipped and then added all of our different sides and ready to go.
A little double down on the tortilla.
No, it's not ear, it's tongue. It's a tongue, right?
Oh yeah, but I meant to order ear anyway. Oh. It's mild, to be honest, not a lot of flavour. Chicken. Sounds good. And
I love Doritos, especially the tamarind. We popped into a junk shop to pick up some shower caps to weather seal the GH4 that we were filming with.
But what's the shot I want?
We were headed to a model's house for a photo shoot and to have lunch, but we had a bit of time to kill, so I just snapped off a few different test shots here along Elmhurst Street, showing you the different results. Taking a look in at this one, it's quite good, but this was the shot that made me realize the 24-70 is not a fantastically sharp lens. You're not resolving a huge amount of detail. Taking a look at some of these others, the building on the wide and then the long shot, then the close-up here on the fence. And again, looking at this one, just look, it all looks just a little bit muddy. But then take a look at this one, and look how they're really popping. This is using the adapter and my Zeiss Otis. And look at this one. It's got an astonishing amount of detail in it. Let's go in close. So this shows it's not that the body isn't capable of that kind of detail, it's the lenses.
Don't be shy. Hi everyone, this is Kat, and this is filming on the Sony. Oh, it's a wide angle, don't worry, I'm not that close. Hi! Just testing the video capabilities. This is with the 15mm size. Don't be shy, don't be shy. So we just filmed a video for Adorama TV whilst I'm here, so you can click through on the link in the caption and see that one. Don't worry, it's not that close. The video happened to be on using a wide angle for portraiture.
Specifically, I run through my top tips on how to avoid distortion like this to get nice environmental portraits that take in the whole scene that aren't hugely distorted. I also filmed a video on using pools of light with homemade modifiers. Links to both in the caption below.
Okay, so having spent the day with the a7r, I can say I really enjoyed it. I can see why Sony split some people. For me, I don't love the styling. I've got to say, in terms of ergonomics, it's fine, but the way it looks isn't my favorite. And the button layout, having regularly used all different brands, I still find the button layout on this one a little bit unusual. Menu button on the top left-hand side is a bit inconvenient. But having said that, Sony Army, don't jump on top of me. I do feel that this is an incredibly accomplished camera. It really offers you the punch of a full-size DSLR camera in a smaller body. But, and you have to take it with the but that the lenses aren't small. But the image quality you're getting off, especially off the a7R, it's just phenomenal. And the video is not too bad. They've got the a7S coming now though. That's gonna be their dedicated video shooter. As I said, in terms of handling, the grip is really nice and comfy. Even with big hands, there's enough room there between the grip and the bigger lenses. In terms of the interface, the screen is good, the menu system is all pretty good, just the button layout I personally didn't really love. And the layout of the record button for video, it's in an unusual place, but actually I think it works quite well. The ability to, they have their adapter so you can use all of the other Zeiss lenses that are designed for like their mirrorless, their translucent mirror lineup. That's fantastic, but you do have to keep in mind you're then putting huge, heavy, long, weighty lenses on an adapter. It does really throw the balance off, but it gives you the advantage of being able to have peaking. And I have to say, shooting with my Zeiss Otis today on this guy with the adapter was just a dream to know that I was getting the best image quality from the lens resolved onto a fantastic sensor, and knowing where my focus was because of the peaking is just fantastic. But you have to keep in mind, with that high pixel density, 36 megapixel on this, it doesn't have astounding ISO performance, as you'd expect, like the D800. And you want to be more careful with your hand holding because little movements, with that pixel density, there's more of a chance of blur. But overall, really, really good performer. I think this is, obviously the workhorse, most professional option among there. It does have a really high price though, and you aren't getting all of the portability benefits of some of the other ones that I'm testing in this series. So I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed my day in Queens. Thank you again to Adorama, and do click through and see their Learning Center video that I presented on shooting with super wide angle lenses for environmental portraits. Thanks, I'll see you soon.
In the next episode, I'm taking the Leica M240 across to Staten Island. I meet and photograph some interesting characters, play some vintage arcade games, try out the local food, and desperately search around for something interesting to shoot.